Hey guys, Miranda Manticos here, psychic channeler, spiritual teacher. Okay, this is the second message I was given for today. The first one, which I posted just previously, is some tips and tricks on contacting your spirit team, finding out who your guides are, and opening the channels of communication between you and your team. So go check that out if you're interested in that. The second message is about this feeling that the collective, some of you may be going through, maybe not everybody, but the awakening, remembering, spiritually opening collective. Some of you guys may be starting to feel, and this can be in the very beginning too, where like say a person who isn't awakened yet spiritually, maybe they're not getting like full on active psychic messages or visions or things like that, but they're like still working a regular job and they're still like in what we would consider like an average life. Okay. I'm feeling this feeling of like purposelessness. Like there is a collective of people that are feeling purposeless. Like they're starting to realize that the work they did before their awakening is kind of like meaningless to them. Okay. And there's a few reasons for this. And the reason why my guides wanted me to talk about it was they wanted the collective to feel supported and to know that they see you, and that there's something important about that feeling of purposelessness, and also like, what other word do you want to call it, Spirit? Like hopelessness and purposelessness. And it's because they're waking up and realizing that everything they thought was important before isn't really important the way they thought. Okay. I'm seeing almost like someone who was very much into like fashion, for example, and, flashy things and, money and just all that world and that scene. And they're starting to wake up and they're realizing that none of this stuff has any meaning. Right. And that's kind of starting to fall apart. And as those layers come off, deep down inside, this person may be feeling very empty or very lost. Okay. So there's that scenario, but there's also the scenario of like the person who's done some of the work now. Maybe they've been awakening for some years now and they're more in the depths of it. And they're really feeling the need to pivot everything they do, right? Like a huge life pivot. These stages, I'm seeing like 3 stages, okay? The in-between. So the first stage is like waking up to like the falseness of like what you were caught up in, right? And we've all done this as we awaken spiritually. So I'm speaking from experience. You start to realize there's a lot of stuff that doesn't matter, okay? Then there's this like middle stage, okay? Where you're kind of in between. You have parts of this world and parts of that world, okay? I'm here in Lemuria. Again, this is about Lemuria. Okay. Then you have the future you, which some of you may already be there, where you're like, I've let this crap go. I'm just going to be authentic, right? I'm just going to live my truth. I'm just going to live in what makes me happy. There's these stages of awakening, but there's a sacredness to all of it. And that's what she's saying. My guide, my specific guide is Mary Magdalene, and she's talking right now. And she's saying every feeling, even the feeling of purposelessness, has a purpose because it's helping you to see what matters. It's helping you to pivot. Okay. So when you start feeling like you don't know why you're here on the planet, or you don't know if you belong, okay, that's actually a sign that you're waking up to the fact that none of us was living our purpose. Our energies and all of our efforts have been put into being a workforce rather than living sovereign. And by the way, I want to clarify something because my spirit team was telling me this the other day. They wanted me to touch on this. Maybe I'll make another video about it. Being sovereign doesn't mean that we don't do work, okay? A lot of times people think that. They're like, okay, food should be free for all people, shelter. I agree 100%. But I also grew up on a farm, and I know that that's 8 hours a day of farming. So just get ready for that. Okay. If you want to establish a free collective, everyone has to be willing to do their part, whatever that is, whether it's the farming, the healing, the building, the cleaning. It's a village. a worldwide village. And I love the idea of establishing this. I really do. But we do need to recognize spiritually that that means effort on our part. It doesn't mean that we're putting up the work hat and we're not working anymore. It just means that in the past, what we did and what we're moving away from is working for a purpose of another. Whereas now, our work as we lead into this new frequency is going to be working for the purpose of our soul, our soul's essence, okay? This is why Lemuria is calling. This is why she's showing up. That collective of the matriarchy, ancient women who, how do you guys want to say it? She's showing like a, where is it? This one? Sorry, you guys, she's showing me something. All right. I'm going to pull 2 cards. So, why? Okay. So the first card that came out was strategy. Okay. There is a strategy behind this feeling. Okay. And moving into that Lemurian energy. Okay. That's the energy of balance. Okay. 22 yin yang. Masculine, feminine, light and dark. You know, just balance. She's saying this is what's pulling at everybody's energy. When you're still in work, go, do, all of that, that's imbalanced, and you're starting to realize that. You're starting to realize that it has no purpose. That what you're doing all day long, while it's a job, and it may be paying your bills, it's not fulfilling you, okay? That's going to require strategy, balance, okay? And this is blossoming abundance. If you want to pivot into gentle living, okay, where you're not in overdrive all the time, kind of balancing out that masculine energy with your femininity, okay? Yeah. Okay, so they're saying when you do that, if you will just slow down, if you will just be still, you'll begin to find your purpose. Because we've been programmed for so long to just think about what we can provide financially, okay? So many people equate their value to money. And you just cannot put a price on the value of your life, okay? Your life is more important than money, you know, or any material thing, okay? So she's sort of saying she really wants you to pivot away from that thinking and look more towards doing work that makes you happy, which will then fuel your energy, which will then help fulfill that feeling that you didn't have a purpose. The only reason that we get brought to that feeling sometimes by our spirit team is to wake us up and launch us into the other direction. It's to kind of help us see that what we're doing, while it's not wrong, it is not fulfilling. It is draining and making us feel lost, okay? Magician in the mirror. Wow. So that's, yeah. When you wake up spiritually, and this I find anyway that this continues. This is a process that continues. Like new levels of awakening and self-work and self-reflection. The magician in the mirror, okay? It's like the most ancient and deep type of scrying, like looking at yourself, really looking at yourself and being honest with yourself, even if it's emotional for you, can really help you face those feelings and recognize that you do have a purpose on this planet. It just wasn't what you were currently doing or what you were doing in the past. And it has to get redirected into alignment for you to be your authentic true self and to feel the fire and the passion and the love again with yourself that was basically stripped of you because the system programmed you to think that you had to perform to be loved. That's literally what she just said. She just took over just then. So your performance has nothing to do with how much God loves you and how much your spirit team loves you and Mary Magdalene loves you. So just remember that. And she's saying, if you're still in a regular job, which many people are, most people are, like a 9 to 5 or, you know, whatever, full-time job, and you can't yet walk away from that, but you feel more is coming, okay? See how she talked about, oh, where did it go? I'm gonna have to find the card. Okay. Where did she set it? Okay, I set it down somewhere. But that feeling that where you were wasn't purposeful and it needs to pivot, right? She says what you can do if you're in a situation where you still have to work full-time circumstantially. She says, just make sure that you give yourself a few minutes each day. It just can be 5 minutes, okay, of just something you like to do. It doesn't matter. It's music, it's art, it's walking, it's soaking in the tub. It's something you like to do that's joyful for you, okay? And if you can't remember what that is, that's a really big sign that you haven't pursued joy or haven't been able to pursue joy in a long time. But that's what you're being urged to do by Spirit, okay? Well, as you start to pursue joy, it's going to kind of like unlock those keys within you of why you came here and what you're here for and finding your purpose. Because it's like you have come here with the container of the soul essence of you, and it knows everything about you, right? And that's literally just asking to be revealed. That's the grand revealing that spiritual awakening brings, okay? So let it be revealed through your passion, she's saying, through your joy. She is unbinding you. I'm seeing her like, she's like opening the throat. So your truth about how you feel and speaking it, even to yourself, okay? She's almost like saying, talk to the mirror, right? Is going to unbind you and open you up and lead to great joy and happiness. And, you know, you will start to feel and see the essence of Lemuria coming through you. The ancient, gentle, peaceful, loving mother energy of the goddess. So there's so much like gentleness in this message, and I'm happy to deliver it. She's telling me to show you, I'm going to show you some paintings. I'm going to take this off the thing. Hold on, you guys. And I'm going to flip the camera around for my listeners who connect with Lemuria, okay? And I think on some level everyone does. Maybe if you don't realize it yet, that's okay. I'm just going to show you some of these paintings because these are inspired from the water being. These are just some of the ones that I've done. Light language paintings and the mirror and water beings, the goddess 3, the matriarchy, really coming through. And I just want to show you some of these gentle ones because they're really special. Hold on, I have a couple more.